Jim Bloggs here, number 14. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to put together another little family challenge you can all do. This one is going to be something that everyone can do. It's just at what level can you progress through to. So don't think this is something too advanced for you, and also don't think it's something too easy. Some of you budding hardcore gym enthusiasts out there, you'll probably look at this and think, that'll be easy. Alright, there we go, you got to do it now, challenge it, because I don't think it will be. And it's easy to make it harder anyway, so I'll talk at the end about if you feel like you are too hardcore for this, how you can make it so you cannot finish it. This is going to be a 15 to 1. Quite simple. I'm going to come up with 3 different exercises. You can do 15 of each, then progress to level 14, 14 of each, 13, 12, 11, 10. Can you get all the way down to 1? What I want to do is go through 3 exercises first, teach you how to do them properly so that you can do these properly, because if you don't do them properly, it will be easy because you won't be doing the exercises. We're going to do simply a squat, a half sit for the abs, and a press up, improvised type of press up, because most people cannot do a press up. I'd say 99% of you now going, good, thank God, because I can't do a press up. Don't worry. Most people, most adults cannot do a press up. That's a fact. And if you're somebody that thinks you can, well done. You're in the top minority, top percentage of few people that can. But can you do them properly? This is the key. So we're going to go through the squat first. Squat is one of the most commonly sort of mis-executed exercises, should I say. All I'm looking at here is not opinions, I'm just simply looking at biomechanics, okay? As a biomechanics coach, this is something that shocked me when I started learning this side of things, how wrong we all do it. And why? Because you've never been taught how to do it properly. It's not your fault, it's ours for not giving you the correct education. So, correct squat, simply using the body in the way it's designed, biomechanically correct movement, will look, first of all, something like this. What most people will do though is this. Okay, the difference there is I want you to look at the legs. What's moving? Is the predominance of moving coming from the ankle, which most people do, and the shin leans right forward and the knees dive right forward here, so you get a lot of flexing from the knee. So it flexes in and brings you down. Problem with that is it brings your whole centre of gravity forward and you end up being heavily predominant on the toes, like this. Or you're doing it correctly and making the hips carry most of the load, funnel the weight down through into your heels, pushing all the weight into your heels, like this. Notice here, there's not too much movement here, and as you come back up again, the knee should drive back. So this little line along here is exactly where my toes come up to. I don't want to progress past through there, so you can watch from the side, you can see as I'm coming down, I'm not progressing, breaking through that line. I'm keeping quite still, and I'm pushing back. I'm getting a nice 45-degree angle on my spine. Lowering my weight down through my heels. I can still kick my toes because the weight is back on my heels, not on my toes, not on the balls of my feet. And this distance from my knee to my hip, my femur, nice long bone, if I'm going to be squatting down so these are in line, well then obviously my hips are going to have to go that way, aren't they? Because if this just stays dead still, how can this bend? Where's it going to go? These have to be forced out of the way to create the room. That's where people go wrong. You are not going straight up and down. You're bending your legs. So you're pushing your bum back, loading your hips, squatting down deep, knees don't dive past the point of your toes, and neither do my shoulders, okay? I'm coming up. I want to keep everything behind this line. And I'm dropping down until this becomes nice and parallel with the floor, hips drop just underneath the knees. Then I'm powering back up again. Key importance here is from this line where it starts, when I'm at the bottom, I'm squatting down, my knees against this imaginary line. The way up, your knee should drive straight away from it. Okay, you should be pushing your hips backwards explosively, powerfully, with some real effort. Not just standing up any old way. You're not just elevating yourself without thought. There's real thought in it. You want to use the big, strong muscles to do the work. You're pressing your legs up, not extending at the knee. So as I come up here, watch how I try to push my hips back. I want to literally, as if something's creeping in close to me, right? I'm trying to push it back. So from here, it's driving it back, okay? I'm not just coming straight, oops, balance. I'm not just coming straight up and down. I'm from here and I'm driving, pushing backwards. Knees want to be driving immediately back, not coming up a little bit, then driving away, okay? They're not going up and round. It's a direct line from here, straight back, boom, like this. The importance of that is to protect the knee. If you do not do this, then what you're doing is doing this. You're working on the extension of your leg instead of the press of the leg. 4 muscles in the quads, isn't there? Hence the name quadriceps, quad 4. 2 of them are relatively small, 2 of them relatively big, relative to each other, okay? These are big because they're designed to carry the load of your weight. These are smaller because they're not designed to carry your weight. They're just designed to extend at the leg. So vastus medialis here, okay, the teardrop of your quad, and then your rectus femoris that comes up here. The rectus femoris is an interesting muscle. It's what's known as a biaxial muscle. It travels over and controls 2 joints in the body. Unlike most things, just traverse over 1 joint and make it flex. Your rectus femoris is a part of your quadriceps, so it's part of that group of muscle tissue in the quads, but it's also part of your hip flexors. I'm sure you've all heard of hip flexors before. Again, that is a group of muscle tissue, and that is designed to, as the word and the name suggests, hip flexors, it flexes your hip. So think about doing a sit-up. That's involved in that as well. So it's also the muscle that holds your kneecap, your patella, and as you're coming down, it's one of the most predominant muscles for extending the knee. So your 2 smallest muscles you don't want to be using as the ones to elevate your whole body weight. You want to be using the big ones, vastus lateralis, big sweeping one on the side, and then set underneath and set to the side of it your vastus intermedia. Those in conjunction with your glutes, the big old ass muscles, those should be primarily lifting you, okay? Driving your weight down through to the ground as fast and as hard as you can. Straight through the heel to the floor. If you allow yourself to come forward onto your toes, thus lifting the heel off the floor, then what you're doing is you're putting all that weight, whatever you weigh, so I'm currently about 80 kilo at the moment, so for me, I'll be immediately putting 80 kilo through this tiny little girly sized ankle that I have, okay, and risking my Achilles tendon rupturing. Achilles tendon at the back, control to the calves, does this, and also plantar fascia, the inside, which keeps the arch in your foot. Very thin, small, weak, relatively weak bits of tissue in your body. Why risk them? Keep your heels on the floor and put that weight off of you straight into the floor immediately. So that is a safe way of doing a squat. Now your back is super important. If you do not focus on what your back is doing, you are running the risk of injuring it. So you've got something called your rectus, your spinal erectors as a group, if we like, all the way up the base of your spine from the base of your spine to the top. It's their job, just simply, as this is your spine, think about it, they just attach on. It's their job to grab it and pull that spine up and hold it nice and extended. Rather than letting it flop forward, they will hold it and keep it in a nice extended spine. If you're not using those muscles, what's holding that spine up? What's protecting the spinal column inside your spine? Luck? Hope? You need the muscle tissue to do its job. It's on your body for a reason. Use it, okay? Now, upright position, a lot of people would think that would be the best position to be in, yeah? Best posture. Keep the spine nice and straight, good posture, nice and upright. Surely that's the best way to put your spine. It is not, okay? Up here, you have all of gravity's force plus weight compressing down onto that spine, okay? Compressing and putting that load stacked on every single one of those vertebrae and interlocking discs. Move your spine forward to about a 45-degree position here, and all of a sudden now, like a Jenga stack, if it comes over here, what's going to happen if there's nothing holding up? It's going to fall down, isn't it? So what's going to hold it? Yes, your spinal erectors, your muscle tissue, two big, strong trunks of muscle that goes up either side of your spine, your spinal column. And it's their job again to attach to every single one of those vertebrae on the arm and just keep it upheld. So now if you're leaning your spine over to a 45-degree position, here, if we are using the muscle tissue to pull me up and hold that extended spine, that is what is carrying that weight. The muscle tissue, hence, it's doing its job. It's designed to be on your body for a reason, and it's doing that reason. So here, muscle can't do its job. It's already pulled up. Here, muscle's doing its job. Weight load is on your spine, weight load is on the muscle tissue. Spine, muscle, bad, good, okay? So, that's how you should be if you're doing a squat. Particularly if you're going to load weight onto you and doing squats. I honestly do not understand the purpose of standing all the way up completely erect and straight in between every rep in a squat. You're doing a squat specifically to train those muscles that extend your legs back up again. Okay, at no point do you need to fully stand up. If you've got that weight loaded on your back here, that is the safest position to be in. If you're going to come down and squat down and stand back up again, this is done, it's finished, it's done. Why then feel the need to come up? Right? If you want to do a full extension, say you're fully working your glutes or whatever, fine, do that in another exercise. Don't unnecessarily just add all that heavy load onto your spine. It's another story, won't go into that, another one. But this is what I want you to be. Maintain at 45 degree, roughly. Elevate yourself up and down on the heels. Keep the weight on the heels. Now most people won't be able to do that straight away because you probably practice the movement pattern the other way. It's about practice. You've got the rest of your life to do it, so keep practicing. It's not an excuse just to say, oh, I can't do it. Train. Try to do it. So that's a squat. Then we'll move on to a press up. Now, as I said before, most people simply cannot do a press up. You probably think you can, but if you had a decent trainer next to you, they would not count them, because if you cannot put your chest all the way down onto the floor and then push yourself up again, you haven't done a press up. You just sort of went halfway down to the shops, got halfway there and thought, screw it, that'll do, and went back again. You haven't got anything because you didn't reach the shop. Same thing, if you're putting yourself down, the only reason you're doing a press up is to challenge the front chain of muscle tissue in your upper chest here. That chest that contracts and pulls your arm in front of its body, triceps that helps extend, bit of front delts. It's all things in the front of the body that's just pushing your arm forward. And then how do you do that again? You can't contract it if you haven't stretched it, so stretch it all the way back. All the way back to where it goes. Okay? If your joint is designed to go from A to, say, B, get to B. Right? When you're doing a press up, don't do what I see all the time. Don't do this halfway malarkey. What are you doing? Nothing. Right? Do a press up. If you turn around and say, oh yeah, but I can't go all the way down, well then that's what you would need to sort out, isn't it? What are you doing otherwise? Work on it. Don't just use an excuse to say, oh, I can't do that. What are you here for? Now, this is what we're going to do, because this is what you do. Because what most people do is they do, right, is they drop onto their knees, yeah? How many times have you done this and been told to do it? Let me explain why that's ridiculous and will never get you any better at press-ups. One, because, make sure I'm in shot here, if I'm going to go down here, okay, and say I struggle to come up, so I drop onto my knees. Number one, what have I just done? I've completely altered the angle of press. I've now gone from what was a perpendicular movement straight out to now pushing down. It is not the same movement anymore. Your chest muscles are a huge, big expanse of a fan of muscle tissue that goes in different ways, and they all pull in different directions, no matter which way you go. Now, most things in your life is here, right in front of you. You want to push a door open. Someone's coming in front of you, you push them away. Okay, you want to push a car along because it's not starting. Whatever it is, it's here, isn't it? You don't go to push a heavy door open that's really struggling and go, okay, ready, I'm ready. You don't do it. You don't go, okay, ready, hang on. Okay, go on then, I'll push. Just because you don't. Just walk up to it and just go. This is the way our shoulders are designed. The anatomy of our shoulders and the angle on which your glenoid fossa, your joint to your humerus bone comes into, it's all set up and designed to be able to do this comfortably, smoothly, efficiently, biomechanically perfect. So, by dropping to your knees, you're now not doing the same movement, so you can be training some other muscle tissue that isn't the same one. You get that really nice and strong, but then you go back to doing it the other way, you haven't developed those muscle tissues, those fibres, so it's not going to make you any stronger. It's not a case of, oh, but if you can do 100 of them, surely you'll be able to do one of them. No. I've been learning Spanish for 15 years. Surely I can speak a little bit of German. What? Sounds redonkulous, doesn't it? Exactly the same thing. Also, more importantly, the wonderful thing about a press-up is it is a pretty much a full body front chain anyway. Everything's working. It's such an all-inclusive exercise because I hope I've got the width here. I've done an up and downy shot, portrait instead of landscape, because I was worried about the squat height. Oh, to have a lovely studio to play in again. Right, now the thing is, if I'm here, right, I'll shimmy forward a little bit, everything's working, right? This is all tight, solid, okay? It's a plank, firstly. Press up is simply a plank in motion, right? Planks is a whole other minefield. We'll go into that in a separate one, but let me tell you now, that is a plank, okay? Nice flat back, solid. Not hanging. It's not a straight line from my shoulders down to my feet, okay? It's more like this. You need to get your torso perpendicular to the body. Same as if you were laying on your back doing a bench press, you're doing that same movement. So your thighs and your belly do not get in the way. Your chest goes to the floor, nothing else. You maintain a parallel position with the floor. Lower yourself down, touch the floor, push back up. Notice I'm coming up, my whole body stays rigid and it's all coming up at the same time. I'm not snaking up, I'm not shagging the floor, okay? I'm coming down, touching the floor with my chest, my belly and my quads are still not on the floor, just feel my chest hit the floor and then push up again. But I need to keep all of everything rigid and solid. The whole body is involved here. Everything from my abs, torso, all of my legs to maintain nice, strong, rigid structure. Everything's working. Now, where I was going with this, what we're going to do for this 15 to 1 is you're going to pick a height that you can do 15 press-ups at relatively easily, okay? And what I mean by that is, I want to maintain, if you can't do a press-up on the floor, I want to maintain exactly the same movement, but in a different orientation. That's what that's for. Watch this. If I come up to a kitchen counter, a table, a box, whatever it is, I'm going to put myself in exactly the same position as a press-up, okay? And look at my position, look at the movement, watch that. How is this any different to this? It isn't. The body doesn't know that I'm on a table or on the floor or whatever. All it knows is that muscle's contracting in a certain way. By elevating your front position, you're just simply loading more weight down onto your feet, thus taking more weight off of here, lighting it up, making it a lot more manageable, a lot easier to push yourself up and down. So that is going to train you towards doing a proper press up one day. Doing on your knees is not. Doing half reps is not. Okay? There's many other things we can do specifically for that, but feel free to talk to me individually about that. Come and see me after class. But what you're going to do here is we're just going to do a bit of a cardio, training, thrash up, smash up. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? And have a little play. So you're going to find something that you can do a good perfect press up in. The body's not going to move. You're going to solid, up and down, just like I demonstrated. Okay? The chest touches whatever you're going against, whatever it is. You're coming in perpendicular to it at all times. Whatever it is, completely perpendicular, parallel to whatever the position your hands are in. And then we move on to the abs. So we've done something for the legs, lower body, something for the upper body, now something for the middle. Now we're devising a proper session, aren't we? Hoorah! So, half sits. These are going to work predominantly and primarily on concrete, primarily on that six-pack abs, the rectus abdominals, okay? Two trunks down here. A little bit of internal obliques because of good positioning here as well. Everything will be a little bit involved, but this is where you're going to feel the ouchie burns, right? Everyone wants a nice six-pack. This won't give you it. It's all about your diet, but yeah. You want to know you've worked your abs, right? So now, watch the positioning. Make sure that I am all in it. My AstroTurf is lovely and soft, okay? It's really thick, really spongy. If it wasn't, I would definitely be using a mat here. So don't do it on a hard surface. Your spine will know about it and you'll be an idiot. So I'm just using this as nice and soft. Yep, that's good. Right, 90-degree bend, roughly, right angle, flat foot on the floor. Not gonna let my toes come up, nice and flat. My hips, and rolling. Can you see them rolling in? So I don't have this gap. I'm going to push it down. So there's no gap under here. This is them already engaged, nice and tight. Hold that position and maintain that position. Hands on the thighs. Not relaxed, out straight, down, in contact. Head on the floor. As you go from this position to your head on the floor, feel what happens. There's an awful lot of stretch. You're really going from an almost straight arm to a fully straight, stretched muscle tissue. Okay, if you look at my hands here, here, all this stretch. It's an awful lot. So you come all the way down, you come all the way up, tip your fingertips over the edge, okay, not just to the top, over the edge. Control yourself down to your head is on the floor. Up, over, breathing out, breathing in, breathe out, breathing in. So all your movement, in everything in your exercise life or training life, whatever is the hardest part of the movement, which is the contraction of the muscle, that's when you breathe out. Okay, it's the same rules forever, never changes. So quite commonly people think, I don't know when I should be breathing. What's the hardest part of the movement? It's the contraction. If it's a squat, it's standing up. If you're doing a sit-up, it's coming up. Whatever is the contraction of the muscle, the hardest part of the movement, breathe out. The rest of it, as you're going back to the beginning part to do the hard bit again, going through the eccentric contraction, that's when you're sucking the air back in again. Okay, simple stuff, but you just need to do it correctly. Now here's the thing, you're going to go from 15 to 1. I'll be very, very impressed if you manage it. Most people don't get past sort of 10. If you just get down to level 10, that's like 65 reps of everything, of each exercise already at level 10. And it's only a third of the way through. But it's not, because obviously then the numbers are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and you start going through it faster and faster. Try to not have breaks, just go from one to the other, to the other, to the other. You haven't come here to watch me exercise. If you have, bugger off, it's not what it's all about, alright? But I'm going to do a few rounds just to show you the tempo and the speed. You are not trying to do this fast, you are trying to train your body, okay? No one cares how fast and how amazing you are. Anytime I see someone doing fast exercises, I just think, what a dick. What are you doing? What are you here for? It's not about get it done, it's about do it properly. Do the workload, okay? Spend time on a controlled, concentrated movement, smashing that muscle tissue in, putting it through the hardest game you can so that it gets tougher and stronger. Okay, there are certain specific types of movements we would do quickly, but these are not them. 90% of the movements you do will just be slow, controlled, focused on trying to spend time under tension. The eccentric movement, when you're coming down on the squat, that's when the damage is happening to the muscle tissue. Spend time in it, okay? When you're coming down on the half sit, that's when the damage is happening to the muscle. The rest of it's just boom, pump it up, and then ow, burn, training. What can you do? Train it. What can you do? Train it. When you're doing the press up, what can you do? Train, train, train. This is what I can do now. This is how much better do I want to be the next session. Okay, if you want to come in and be fitter, faster, stronger on your next session, then you better make sure those eccentric contractions are a lot slower. I tend to try and think maybe a 1 up, 4 down. 1 up, 4 down, anything like this. You're not impressing anyone by finishing first. The first person to finish in a circuit session is the one I usually diss the most in my mind. I won't tell you that, but oh, well done, you're so good. Why are you not trying to get the most out of this? Okay, no one cares that you've beat them. You haven't beat them. The person that came last, that's generally the one I like. That's the one that's taken the time to really put the effort into that and not waste their time and everyone else's. I am going to do two things. The first round at 15s, I'm going to do it as I suggest you start. When I go down to round 14, I'm going to do it for the advanced people that think they're all hardcore and that this is going to be too easy. I'm just going to be simply putting in slower eccentric contractions and isometric holds at the hardest point of the movement, which would be either down or fully contracted. So, are we ready? I'm just going to go round 15, round 14. Okay, round 2, when I go down to round 14, I'll do press-ups on the floor. The first one will do exactly how I suggest you do it off of a elevated position, just so you can see how it's done. It's not because I'm showing off in the 14th one, I'm just trying to show different ways of how you do it, and also for me it's just where I would need to be. Okay, here we go. I'll start with the press-up. Sorry, my bad. On the press-ups, your hands need to be at your elbow span. Okay, not in here. So you're doing this, now here. Wherever your elbows are, they want to be completely parallel with each other. Down and press, okay? So wherever your elbows splay out to, that's where your hands go. That right for me? Okay, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, last one, 15, straight down on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, last one, 15, all the way down, finish the rep into my squats. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, into round 14. Now I'm going to make it a little bit harder. If you wanted to stop and have a drink, whatever reason, for some strange reason you think you're going to die of dehydration in the next 20 minutes, do it, but you do it now, not halfway through the round. I've finished my 15s, I'm now going down to my 14s. Have a drink if you feel you need it then. So now I'll drop to the floor. One, so I'm making it a little bit harder, slower on the way down, just to stress the muscle more and give it more time to fatigue. 2, 3, 4, I'm exploding up and I'm coming straight back into that dangerous, the horrible painful bit, slow eccentrics, slowly down, I'm holding, 6, it's like I can't wait to get back into the pain again. So smoothly down, hold, explode up, do again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 to go, 13, 1 more, straight into the squats, make it hard, holding in here, explode back, 1, nice and steady and controlled, 2, 3, 4. The slower you go, the more time you've got to focus on your technique and form anyway, so it's kind of, in a weird way, it's kind of nicer and easier. 5, 6. Obviously when you're going slower, you can't match your breathing perfectly because it's too long. I just breathe normally. Just control, full breaths in, nice and steady. When you're down here, you can perhaps just, before you go to the push-up, breathe in heavily and then breathe out hard. Like so, okay? I think that's 7. So 7 to go. 8. 9. 10, last 4. 3 more. 2. 1 more time. Good. So that's round 14 done. Then you go on to round 13 in the way that you choose to go. Now all I would say is, if you start on a certain level, back there, complete the whole entire thing at that same level. Don't get through it halfway and think, oh, this is too easy. I'm going to make it harder. It's a long way to go, okay? Also don't do the other way. Absolutely never make it easier. Just say, whenever you get to the point of failure, because I tell you now, most of you will fail. You want to, that's the goal. We're here to find out how good you are, put a line in that sand where you fail, and then next time, try to beat it, and thus progress, okay? If you get to a point where you think, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard, and instead of giving yourself that round of applause, pat on the back and say, good, I achieved. I managed to push my body all the way to the point where it's failed. Where's the happiness? Where's the sense of achievement? How can you replicate that if you keep moving the goalpost? Just go at it, not expecting to get to 1. Because this session isn't designed to do that, okay? And thus, all of your training shouldn't be designed to do that. If you're coming here expecting to achieve everything you go to do, then you're not coming here to train. You're coming here to exercise. And that's not the goal. I'm trying to avoid that sunshine in my face. Right, leave it at that. There's your little session. Should get you blown. I'm a little bit blown out already. Don't you hear my voice, but it's only a little bit. And it's hard. It's hard, why? Because you make it hard. Anyone can just go through it and try to pretend they're hardcore. You're not an Olympian. Why are you trying to pretend you are? Lose the ego, go at it, and thrash yourself. Put your body into something, and struggle it. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. Good effort, enjoy. I want to hear some results. Ciao.